welcome to the Learning Reading Hub. This channel is all about resources and information about learning to read. So if you're interested in this topic, consider subscribing. We create weekly content full of valuable information and resources. So today we're going to talk about a very important topic, and that is reading comprehension and how to improve reading comprehension in children. In short, reading comprehension is the ability to understand the meaning of the text that you're reading and integrate that you read with what you already know. This is actually a very important part of reading, because otherwise, what is the point in reading really? Personally, I have heard so many times from teachers and experts in reading that we read to comprehend that I think of this phrase as a cliché. Having said that, I totally agree. We read to comprehend, that is true. However, I feel that sometimes this phrase is thrown out by educators so much in order to justify certain strategies I certainly do not agree with. The strategies I refer to are guessing words or simply skipping words. When I say guessing words, I refer to guessing how to read words, not guessing the meaning of words. Obviously, guessing the meaning of words based on the context is something that we do in general, even as adults, and it is a good thing to do, a very smart thing to do. If you are able to guess the meaning of the words that you read based on the context, that is a really good sign of reading comprehension. So, why do I raise this point of guessing and skipping words? Well, because I think that these strategies are the main contributors to the huge problems with reading comprehension that children have, or that many children have. Okay, in order for you to understand this, I want to share with you what happens in the brain when we read. There are actually two processes going on simultaneously. The decoding, word recognition, figuring out what the words you have in front of you are, that would be process number one, and the comprehension process. If you are too absorbed on the first one, the second process is impaired. You're just investing too much mental capacity on the first one in order to let the second one happen. Why could it be that you're too absorbed on the first one? Well, if you haven't mastered the coding and word recognition up to the point that this process happens automatically, it is likely that you're gonna struggle with comprehension. Think of this as when you learn how to drive. At the beginning, you just have to think about every single detail: steering the wheel, the pedals, signaling where you're going. It looked like a super complex task. In fact, when I was learning how to drive, I don't know about you, but I couldn't listen to the radio and I didn't want anyone talking to me, otherwise I couldn't focus. However, you reach a point when the skill of driving a car or whatever complex skill becomes automatic, and you just do all these things that the complex skill requires without even thinking about it. The same happens with reading. Have you noticed that children, when they are learning how to read, they are reading a text word by word very slowly, like Ben wants to have a pet. And that would be reading fast. But at the end of reading all of those words, they go, "Oh, Ben wants to have a pet." It is only at the end, like, okay, I just got it, before they were just too immersed into the decoding process. However, to my amazement, many educators insist on tiptoeing through the first process taking place, the decoding process, encouraging strategies, as I said, such as guessing or skipping words, rather than focusing on making this process automatic. They fail to understand that kids will never be good at comprehension if they don't master the decoding, the word recognition process, up to the point that it becomes second nature, totally automatic. They are really putting the cart before the horse. So, the first step for improving comprehension, even if it sounds counterintuitive, is focusing a lot on the other process that takes place when reading. That means paying a lot of attention, a lot of focus on achieving fast and fluent decoding skills. Another key aspect for having good comprehension skills is having rich vocabulary. There is a strong correlation between good comprehension skills and the size of your vocabulary. It is pretty obvious. The more words you know, the less stuck you will get along the way with words you don't understand, and the more sense you can make of the text that you're reading. This doesn't mean that the kid will not encounter words that he or she doesn't know. In fact, the best way to improve children's vocabulary is reading. The more you read, the richer your vocabulary becomes. When you read even children's books, you encounter words that you don't use on your daily normal conversation. So, get your child into the habit of reading and read to your child from an early age. Finally, there are also some active comprehension strategies that you can do with your child. Your objective is for him or her to become an active reader. An active reader does not only understand the story that he or she is reading, but also know how to associate what she or he is reading, what she or he already knows, making these smart connections and therefore expanding his or her knowledge of the word through reading. Let's go now through the active comprehension strategies. The first strategy I'm going to talk about seems way too simple, but don't do it enough. It's just engaging with your child in regular conversations. These active, regular conversations should be focused. Try to avoid disrupting background noises such as TV. Ask her or him open questions starting with what, when, where, why, how, and make them relevant to their interests. For example, you can ask your child, why do you like playing this game so much? What would you do in this situation? More advanced strategies to improve your child's comprehension skills can include discussions about the books that he or she reads, summarizing the stories that he reads, discussing about details in the story, such as characters, the settings, the problems the characters face, the end of the story. It is not recommended to use them every time that you're reading with your child, because this can really cut the flow of the books that he or she is reading and really go against the joy of reading itself. Bonus: a few simple examples of how to incorporate comprehension strategies into your everyday reading with your child. For instance, you can get into the habit of reading the synopsis of the books that you're about to read with your child. This is actually the same that you would do before watching a movie, right? It sort of puts you in tune and ready for the book. Get your child excited about the story that he or she is about to read. Explain why you think it's such a good pick for him or for her. Oh my god, you're about to learn so much about sharks and you love sharks. Or, oh look, this is about a princess and you love princesses, don't you? Create expectations, predictions about the book that you're about to read. You can ask him or her, what do you think this book could be about? And then, while you're reading, you refer to these predictions. Oh, you guessed right, this book is all about animals. Or, oh, we didn't think of that, did we? Ask your child to summarize what he or she's read every now and again. Get into even more details. Discuss the characters, the plot, the problems that the characters face, the solutions to the problems that they found, the end. Did they expect the book to end that way? When you're reading, if your child encounters unfamiliar words, try to see if he can infer the meaning of these by context. If he can't, just try to explain with your own words what the meaning of the word is. And even better, well, maybe only for older children, use a dictionary. Encourage visualization. Ask your child to imagine something that hasn't been explained in detail in the book. For instance, the house where the main character lives, or the food he likes to eat, or the movies he likes to watch. Encourage inferences. Sometimes the stories rely on our previous knowledge of the world. For instance, you're reading with your child and it says, Rosie felt sad. Sally gave her a hug. Or Sarah's face turned yellow. Her mom gave her a glass of water and checked her temperature. Check if your child is able to figure out this implied knowledge in the book. Why do you think that Sally gave Rosie a hug when she was feeling sad? Or why do you think Sarah's mom gave her a glass of water when her face turned yellow? I hope you found value on this video. If that is the case, please hit the like button because that really helps the channel. And if you enjoy this type of content, subscribe. Bye and see you on the next video.